Good afternoon to you. Welcome back to the Crucible. Those the 8 men left in the Embassy Snooker Championship of the world. And all 8 are in action in what really should be an exceptional day's snooker. The top match, of course, that eagerly awaited meeting of Stephen Hendry, the defending champion and the world #1, and Ronnie O'Sullivan, the man many feel will eventually succeed Hendry as the best in the world. That's our match coming up in just a few moments, but before we go to it, let's remind you of the quarter-final draw. Now, Hendry O'Sullivan is the top match, and the winner there will meet either John Parrott or Jimmy White. That's another marvellous match in prospect, and that, of course, starts later today, as does the quarter-final between Gary Wilkinson and Nigel Bond. Gary now rediscovering some of the form which made him the world #5 in 1991, and he faces a tough battle against Bond, who's also playing his best snooker of the season at just the right time. And finally, the match at the bottom, Peter Ebdon, now the 7-2 second favourite, facing the young man from Devon, who began this championship as a 150-1 outsider, but of course he's proved to be a much better bet than that. It really is a very tasty last 8. But of course, the most eagerly awaited of them all, Hendry against O'Sullivan. The winner clearly will be a warm favourite to win this year's world title. Let's remind you of the two players, as if you'd needed any reminding. Stephen Hendry, 26 years old. He's won the World Championship in 3 of the last 4 years. And the only problem really for Hendry is that he hasn't played all that well over the last few months. In fact, he hasn't won any of the 6 tournaments he's been involved in since the Charity Challenge way back in January. Now, Ronnie O'Sullivan, still just 19 years old. He remains the youngest player ever to win a ranking tournament. And of course, this week, he's looking to succeed Hendry as the youngest ever world champion. Dave Harold and Darren Morgan, his victims in the first 2 rounds. Now, head-to-head, interestingly, Hendry leads 6-3, but in ranking tournaments, it's 3 wins each. And both, of course, are eager to get this match underway.
I'm just looking forward to it now. This is when the tournament really starts. You know, you're playing almost every day, you know, if you get through. So I love it. This is the best time. I prefer playing when there's more pressure on.
I expect to, you know, if I play well, give Stephen a good run for his money, and I'm just looking forward to getting out there, you know, playing in a long match again. It really is it's the cream tournament of them all.
Ronnie's probably the best that I've seen, you know, who can possibly take over, you know, and get to #1 in the rankings.
When I'm playing well, I don't feel like I could get beat to anyone, to be honest with you. And I suppose Stephen's the same, and I suppose Jimmy White would say the same thing. You know, all the top players believe when they play well, they would find it impossible to, you know, believe in their own mind that they could get beat to anybody.
Yeah, we know what he means. So there we are, the first of the quarter-finals. Both players only too well aware of just what it means. It's the best of 25 again in the quarter-finals. First to 13, the winner. And off we go in the opening frame with commentary from John Virgo and Ted Lowe. One. 3. 4. 11. 12. 12. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
This a very eagerly awaited match in the championship. This is the world's #1 star. Hasn't lost a match here in the Crucible Theatre in this championship since the quarter-final of the championship in 1991. Looking for a record, in fact, of 4 consecutive wins.
Eight. Eight. Stephen Hendry.
Well, Stephen Hendry did have a pot on there, albeit a risky one. We've seen him take them on before. Is there a hint of a game plan? Let Ronnie O'Sullivan force the pace.
Well, Stephen didn't get that right at all, but I don't think he's done too much damage.
One.
Yes, that's a fatal thing to say, Ted, isn't it, with Ronnie O'Sullivan? He can pot anything. Good shot.
One. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, there's a bit of a surprise, John.
Yes, that's the second fairly easy colour that he's missed. And of course, when you miss colours and you're playing position for a red, those reds are going to be on for your opponent. And this is a nice easy opener for Stephen Hendry.
One.
You can bet your life Stephen Hendry will punish Ronnie O'Sullivan for the mistakes.
Seven. Eight.
14. Stephen Hendry.
Well, in attempting to pot that and hole for the black, it made the pot more difficult. Still didn't expect him to miss it, though. Oh, quite an edgy start from both players, but understandable. Both got great respect for one another, and this match promises to be an absolute cracker.
Yes, you're saying there, John, many think that this
7.
should be the final of the championship.
8.
Maybe in years to come.
That was a delightful positional shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Is when he pots this red, he's going to run into the other one and can't be exactly certain where the cue ball's going to be. So I'm not
15.
taking any chances trying to stay on the pink. Went up the table for a baulk colour. 6 points in it. Ronnie in front.
$18. $19.
Didn't catch the 3
29.
reds as full as he intended, but he has developed one into a potable position. Now, if he can get this and get good position, this is a frame-winning chance.
26.
Yes, those 2 reds will go into the same pocket. He's just put the pink. His only problem is the red on the black.
32.
Yes, but he won't need that. He's 23 points in front. These 2 reds, 2
43.
pinks, and Stephen Hendry will need a snooker.
$39. $40.
So there it is. 37 points ahead now.
$46. Ronnie O'Sullivan. All 4.
That's
Ronnie
unlucky.
O'Sullivan.
Yes, one expects Ronnie to put the yellow into the centre pocket, just follow through for the green. They're all there.
5. Nine.
So it's been a gentle start.
14. 20. And the frame.
Yes, Ronnie disregards the black. He's done enough. Very nicely too. The first frame on the scoreboard. The safety there not so good from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
One.
Bought that from Stephen and controlled the cue ball very well. Nice angle on the blue. Sure, he would like to get rid of a red that's occupying the black spot, but he can't quite get to that yet.
6.
Chance here to get position on the black.
7.
Well, he nudged the red that was near the black spot, but I still think if he pots this, the black may have to go up the other end of the table. Won't help for break building purposes unless he makes room for it by carrying the red near the black spot. Which he's done. Oh, he's kept the black at this end of the table.
14.
What red is he on?
He's looking at the one along the cushion, John.
And that was brilliantly manoeuvred how he kept the black at this end of the table, now in perfect position. Of course, this is one of the great strengths of Stephen. It looked a bit awkward, and after playing a couple of excellent positional shots, little nudges, it's now a frame-winning chance.
23.
High quality.
Thirty. 31. 38. 39. $46. $47. $54.
Yes, passes the half century.
$55.
This match between two young giants of the Green Bays. This young man has all the aces. His opponent would like to trump them.
60. Stephen Hendry.
Well, surprising end, but he didn't get a good positional shot on that red. Chance for Ronnie to reply. 60 points in it, but plenty on the table.
1.
About when he came to the table, a possible 83 points. Spread them nicely.
8.
Just one awkward red on the side cushion.
Just not quite happy with the angle on that red. It's just off straight. Wants to be playing for the black.
9.
Not ideally positioned now on this black. The angle of the pot is taking him away from the reds. Held it well though.
16. 17. 24. 25. 32. 33. 40.
Well, deciding to play for the more difficult red first. This is a big shot.
40. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
That could have cost him the
Thank you,
frame.
ladies and gentlemen, please.
He was hoping, of course, that it would have won him the frame.
One.
So just the black and the last red. And Ronnie O'Sullivan will need a snooker.
8. 9. 16. 18.
The first 2 frames of this quarter-final then are disposed of in just over 20 minutes.
21.
The 2 young stars sharing the first 2 frames. John, could it go to the 25th?
It could, Ted. It won't take long to get there.
30.
Stephen Hendry in his last match against Tony Drago looked to me as though his timing might just be off slightly. It's not this morning.
36 in frame, Stephen Hendry.
A brilliant performance then, and they're all square 1 frame each.
Third frame, Stephen Hendry to break.
"19 years of age, a professional for only 3 years.
Not a good safety shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan, but he's been fortunate. The red that Stephen would be playing, well, may still play, but now he's hampered over the brown, as you can see.
The world champion's been a professional for 10 years, and he's only 26.
One.
Super shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Maybe didn't screw the cue ball back quite as far as he would have liked. Still managed to force through the reds. He's on the black.
Sixteen. 17. 24. 25. 30. 31. 38. 39.
Like all youngsters, Ronnie sees no danger.
Decided to go into the
46.
cluster. He could have played for the red along the top cushion. He may be wishing he had now, because I don't think he's on a red. No, nothing to go at. And come quite awkward.
Yes, it's end of break. Question of getting it safe now.
46. Ronnie O'Sullivan. Well,
Well, we clearly saw that, didn't we? Just touched the cue ball. So easily done.
Yes, it's not really the type of exchange that these two are used to. He's left that for Ronnie, a red into the far left corner. Maybe not. Or maybe yes.
He's certainly going for it.
Well, that was careless from Stephen Hendry.
six.
That was an excellent positional shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
7.
Goal frame winning chance. We started this break with a lead of 50 points, now 57. Few reds and colours away from victory in this third frame.
Seven. Ronnie O'Sullivan. One.
In the last frame, Stephen Hendry led by 60. Ronnie O'Sullivan had a chance to pinch the frame. He didn't. And Stephen Hendry do a little bit better with this opportunity.
Eight. 9. 16. 17. 23. 12. 24.
Not good position.
31.
Gave that a bit of a bash as well, John, didn't he?
Yes, was much too straight on the black. Tried to force the angle. So
31.
concentrating on the safety. And it looks like a good one. Good tap on the table from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Oh, Ronnie O'Sullivan had a 57-point lead. If he doesn't play a good safety shot here, Stephen Hendry could be favourite to take this frame. Only 26 points in it now.
Trying to clip the red and run away. Caught it too thick.
One. Eight. Nine. Sixteen. 17.
The position of the last red, Stephen decided to play for the brown. Of course, it brings the yellow into the
21.
open. The big problem he's going to have,
23.
the blue is quite awkward, and the pink's not in its normal position. It's on the blue spot. So now needs a good angle on this brown
26.
to try and get good position on the blue.
And the points are all levelled at the moment.
Thirty.
Played it well, but he's going to have to play this blue with pace to get back for the pink.
Make or break. It's going towards the
30.
green
Stephen
pocket.
Hendry.
That was always going to be his problem. Similar ball to Ronnie O'Sullivan missed in the last frame.
Five.
Ronnie still needs the pink and black.
$11.
So the blue takes the frame from Stephen Hendry. Ronnie O'Sullivan goes ahead at 2 frames to 1.
Yes, Ronnie taking advantage of the chance which had been offered. First 3 frames, taking a total of just 35 minutes. Into frame 4 then. Hendry leads 18-7, but he's not too happy. He's just let Ronnie back in again after missing an easy red.
looking at the body language of Ronnie.
8.
He's not on anything.
William Sullivan.
Just not got the cue ball quite as tight on the top cushion as you would have liked, and we may see Stephen have a go at this red in that far right corner pocket. Good going off the blue. The main red he won't want to leave, of course, is the one near the far left corner. Few options of what shots to play. In the end, took no chances, just made certain he covered the red near the left corner. The yellows doing that. There you see it.
Well, our referee, Laurie Annandale, is not very big, but he certainly got in the way of our shot then. But that's the situation that's been left to Ronnie.
Yes, they look very close, that red and the cue ball, but the referee hasn't given a touching ball. If it was, I mean, it'd be an easy safety shot for Ronnie. As it is, it's come quite awkward.
He's a Scotsman too. This fourth frame is proving a little bit ragged. Very odd, because the first three frames have produced 3 breaks of 30, 2 of 40, and 1 of 60. Oh, I don't know what he was up to there, John.
Oh, he's trying to get the cue ball back to this top cushion. Tough shot this is. Decided just to try and roll it to the side cushion, but he's left this red for Stephen. Well, that's not a bad flick on the yellow if this pink is on, and I think it is. Yes, it does go. I'm looking at those reds there, Ted. The bottom two look like they could be a plant. Stephen playing for one of them into the right centre. Pink spot not available, highest available being the blue spot. Doesn't affect him.
15. 16.
They split those very nicely. There is one loose red down behind the green.
.26 in front.
23.
So should win this now from here.
24. 30. 31.
'Only the red.
38.
And Ronnie O'Sullivan, we need a snooker. But I think there's more than the red to come.
39.
'I think he's just waiting for his cup of tea.
44.
That's the situation of this fourth frame. A frame that's leading them into the mid-session interval. Yes,
44.
Ronnie concedes. They've shared the first four. It's 2 frames each.
But definitely signs of tension in the air. Both players only too well aware of just what's at stake in this first of our quarterfinals. So it's 2 each at the... Hello again, welcome back to the Crucible. Let's resume coverage of the first of the quarterfinals in this year's Embassy World Championship. Ronnie O'Sullivan against the defending champion Stephen Hendry, and as you may have just seen, the first 4 frames have been shared. It's 2 apiece, so let's pick it up again at the start of frame 5. Commentary once again from John Virgo and from Ted Lowe.
I don't think Ronnie O'Sullivan can get through to this red direct, but maybe with a little bit of left-hand side on the cue ball, he might just be able to bend it round the yellow. It's not right in the jaws. Played it well.
Well, that's a slight mistake there, John. Just missing position on that red. Got that one into the centre, but has now got the blue. Just out of position for a moment or two.
And didn't play that very well.
14.
You expect him to pot the blue, but didn't control the cue ball very well. So this red now looks as though it's going to go for the left centre.
14. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, I'm sure he played that as a shot for nothing, but he didn't get as far down the table as he would have liked. There's a red behind the yellow, there's one into the left centre. Certainly a chance for Stephen. And there was the one into the left corner, which I didn't spot, but Stephen missed it. Well,
1.
Ronnie very nearly missed that too, John. He certainly missed that one.
1. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
A frame of errors so far.
One. Six. 7. 12. 13.
well, that's a poor shot from Stephen. With a choice of yellow, brown, black. And hitting it as he did, nothing easy. Mistake. Good shot required now. Pressure on this. Great pot. That'll make him feel good.
18. 19. 24. 25.
Checking to see if the pink will go on its spot. If it doesn't, it'll go on the black spot, and that will suit Stephen.
31. 32. 38. 39.
Waiting for his turn at the table. Will it come in this frame?
Forty-four. 45.
Want the pink, cannon into these two reds. If it develops them correctly, it should be a frame winner. Well, not come out that good. I don't think the pink will spot. Annandale, not the tallest referee on the circuit. I'm trying somehow to get a good look at this, but I don't think the pink will go.
51.
But a good pot now required from Stephen to keep this going. 36 points in front, only a couple of reds and colours away from victory in this frame. But a bit of work to do.
Trying this red into the green pocket.
51. Stephen Hendry.
Is it coming to rest over the centre? Just puts the brakes on in time.
Well, you feel that Ronnie O'Sullivan is going to take this red on. It's a big shot. But that's a great pot and gives him a chance now. Looking at that red into the right centre for later, but it looks as though it will pot. So they're all there for the taking.
Seven. 8.
Ronnie going up for the blue makes it that much easier now to play for either the red in the right centre or the red that's in between the green and brown. Just the 28 points behind, and you'd have to say Ronnie O'Sullivan may be slight favourite now to take this frame.
Thirteen. 14. 19. 20.
'A little bit twixt and between. Either green or yellow, I think, to play here. And then after that, the 6 remaining colours.
Oh dear.
23.
The end of break. He's 13 points behind.
Yes, he didn't pot the green clean, and that made him run out of position. So still anybody's frame. Referee has given a touching ball, trying to get this behind the pink.
23. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Good shot. Advantage Ronnie O'Sullivan. Luca not quite there.
Well, there's possibilities here.
Yes, chance of potting this yellow into the centre pocket, but to retain position on the green, he's going to have to play it slow, and that's a dangerous ploy. I've decided against it, probably quite rightly.
Now I think the damage has been done this time by Ronnie. This is the longest frame of the match so far. We've just gone into 16 minutes.
Two.
Good shot. Green and brown still needed.
Five.
Yes, that takes him 18 points ahead.
Nine.
So this fifth frame has been a little bit of a tussle. Finally, it's the world champion who comes out on top.
14.
The pink disappears, the black doesn't matter. Stephen Hendry leads 3 frames to 2. And that's the second bad break that Ronnie's made. Twice he's collided with the blue on his break-off.
One, Stephen Hendry. Thank you.
Well, most unusual. Seems to be contagious.
Yes, a couple of unexpected misses. Will Stephen play this along the top cushion? He is. Knew that the black would be available, should he get it. Now we may see Stephen play this with a lot of pace. Bottom, right-hand side. Pot the black, cannon into the cluster. Oh, if he finishes on the red here, he's devised a new shot. Not quite.
8. Eight, Stephen Hendry.
Knew he was pushing the red over to the right-hand side of the table in a potable position. It wouldn't have been so bad if he'd have got a good length with the cue ball. But you leave Stephen Hendry with his hand on the table, and anything is possible.
Eight. 9. 16. 17. 24. 25. 26. 31. 32.
Nice angle on the black, but there is one loose red. And that's the one he's playing for. If he's got the angle, we'll probably run through for the
39.
pink. Needs to open the cluster. Playing for the black though. So this could be the
40.
key shot to this frame now. Pot the black, open up these reds. And he's got one out. In fact, he's developed 3 or 4.
47.
Frame winning chance now.
Right. 48. Five. 56.
Still a loose red to play for. He doesn't have to go into the cluster. One at the bottom will go into the left corner. Would have liked to have been
62.
straighter on it. But there you saw the caption.
63.
Without that red, Ronnie O'Sullivan needed a snooker.
Stephen Hendry. And the frame.
Yes, Stephen breaks down with the highest break of the match so far, a 63. And he's now 4 frames to 2 in front.
And for the first time, a 2-frame advantage opens up, and it's the defending champion who holds it. 4-2 then to Hendry into frame 7 early on. 4-1 Hendry leads, and it's the Scot to play.
But that's a poor safety shot from Stephen. Caught it much too thin.
One.
He plays that so well, that shot, and they're so difficult.
He seems to get an extra top spin on the cue ball, John, on that
6.
shot, doesn't he? Seems to spin off round.
7.
Yes, I think that's one of the secrets. If you watch Ronnie when he plays, he really lets the cue go through the cue ball. And the more follow through, then the more spin, whether it be top spin, back spin, or side spin.
Well.
Nice little touch there, developing the pink.
$19. $20.
Well, another extraordinary miss.
Yes, I think that was a classic example of Ronnie O'Sullivan. He potted the red and he never really got up from the table. And you don't see the potting angle as clear when you're down. And that was careless. can't afford mistakes like that.
Six.
Yes, he doesn't seem too happy with his game this morning.
Six. Stephen Hendry.
Well, the brown there may have come to Ronnie O'Sullivan's rescue. This red into the right corner. I'm certain Stephen would be playing it normally, but the brown's just about where he would put his hand. Oh. He's managing it. Okay. Good pot.
Seven.
Couldn't have asked for much better than that.
Ball.
Jim Ball, but he's not playing that red.
Eight.
Well, that was a great effort. Good pot, unlucky.
Yes, a great try there to shift the red away to leave himself on the black, but it's going to be the brown.
Eight. Stephen Hendry.
Well, there's a bit of, pardon the pun, rub of the green.
Foul and a miss. Four. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Missed call by referee Laurie Annandale, but it won't be taken. Nice easy red for starters. That little bit of luck that Ronnie had,
One.
I was going to say could win in this frame, but that's not the best positional shot he could have played. Hampered for the pink, cut on the black, but taking him away from the danger area as far as he's concerned. So a good shot required. And it looks like a good shot played. That's brilliant.
Eight. Nine.
23 points in front. Shouldn't
16.
make a mistake. I'll put it another way. He can't afford to make a
17.
mistake now. He's got to win frames from these positions.
And this is a little bit awkward.
Well, Ronnie is asking for the spider. The cue ball and object ball are very close together. He's going to use the spider so he can strike down and avoid making a push shot. This is a very tricky shot, this. Ronnie asking, did he touch the white? And the referee said no. Unlike golf, it's not a foul for an air shot. And Ronnie deciding to play something else quickly. When Ronnie played that shot, Stephen had a little smile to himself. Good pot. Not in perfect position, though. Well, this is coming down nicely.
30.
Done with another foot of pace, though. Red in a colour required.
$31.
Yes, this time he's between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Yes, the blue would have put him 43 points in front. Playing the green.
That green's still in.
Well, can you believe it? And that bit of luck.
34.
He only needs one red now.
35. $40. 41.
You scares Ted, but the frame's safe now.
Yes, that's true. He's fluked his way home now. But still one frame down. We have the last frame of the session to come. The world champion leading 4 frames to 3.
50. 54. 59.
So 65 is the break. Four frames to 3, the score. This the 8th and last frame of this first session then. They play 3 sessions. two matches of 8 frames and a third of 9, totaling 25. So it's the first to 13 that's in the semi-final.
About the best that Ronnie O'Sullivan could do. He still left a red on for Stephen, but he's made it as difficult as he possibly could. Red into the right centre.
One.
He's so brilliant at the centre pockets.
Three.
That looks okay.
Four.
He's a little unlucky there, although perhaps he will try it into the centre pocket. No.
Green. Four. Stephen Hendry.
Oh, Ronnie knew he'd hit that all wrong as soon as he struck the cue ball.
One.
Not playing his best in this first session.
Six. Seven.
Pot the black now and cannon into the cluster. Not too hard, still a red available into this left corner. Just dislodges a few more for later. Yes, I think the problem Ronnie O'Sullivan's got,
14.
he's not renowned for great safety, and he's going to have to play some to create chances. And if you don't create chances with good safety,
15.
then you're going to have to rely on your opponent to miss. And if you wait for Stephen Hendry to miss all the time, you could be sat down there for a while.
$22.
Again, they seem to be a bit awkward. I think it's fair to say, John, that Stephen's not, in fact, had the best of running so far in this match.
Well, when you go into the cluster, you're always trusting a little bit to luck, no matter how good a player you are. Obviously, he thinks he can get through to pot this red, the right-hand one of the two together.
23.
He did. Controlled it well, nice angle on the blue, back in perfect position.
$28. 29. $36. 57.
Laurie Annandale cleaning the cue ball, the man responsible for putting on the tips for Stephen Hendry, and in actual fact has been busy sorting out Jimmy White's new tips.
Oh, I suppose, John, you'd call him the star tipper.
Yes, he does a very good job, and it's very handy to have him at the tournaments. I remember once he put a new ferro and a tip on for me.
45. $50. 51.
Oh, just this red to leave
56.
Ronnie O'Sullivan needing a snooker. Now looks
57.
certain to have a two-frame advantage at the end of this first session.
$64.
Yes, he's going to start the second session with a disadvantage.
65. $72. 72. Stephen Hendry and the French.
And Ronnie O'Sullivan gives a shake of the hands to both Stephen and the referee. The first session concludes with the world champion a two-frame advantage at 5 frames to 3.
Yes, intriguing opening session, but it's advantage Hendry, and they will play the second session of their schedule.
Here they come. 7 of the best try and decide which will be the top 3. Well, the first one is played by Ronnie O'Sullivan in his second round match against Darren Morgan.
This is a tremendous test of cueing here from Ronnie. Not only does he pot the long red, with the danger of the red being over the corner pocket, but gets such good position on the black that he's actually played it like a shot to nothing.
Shot 1, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Shot 2 by Steve Davis when he was trailing Andy Hicks 4-3.
Steve's potted a red. He's in a tremendous amount of trouble. Decides not to play off the 2 cushions, just to play the black, because it would leave his opponent an easy safety shot, but goes off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cushions. Perfectly executed escape from snooker.
Shot 2, Steve Davis. Well, shot 3 was by Peter himself in his match against Mark Davis.
Wasn't faced with that difficult a safety shot here, but I knew that if I potted the red, it was a match winner for me. So I took it on full-blooded, didn't hit it too hard, and it worked out just about perfect.
Shot 3, Peter Ebden. Shot 4, played by Jimmy White in his match against Peter Francisco.
Jimmy uses a tremendous amount of cue power here. Loads and loads of topspin. Smashes the black into the pocket, bananas the cue ball, and look at this for position. One of the best positional shots I've ever seen, and that was played for.
Shot 4, Jimmy White. Shot 5, one from Tony Drago in his second round match against Stephen Hendry.
Tony's under a lot of pressure here. He's 12-5 down. Needs to do something special. Hard stuns the pink into the centre with a touch of left-hand side to bring the red perfectly over the left-hand black pocket.
Shot 5, Tony Drago. Shot 6, another one from Jimmy White, again against Peter Francisco.
Well, when the balls are so close to the pockets, sometimes it's difficult to control the cue ball and gain position. So Jimmy decides not to use the cushions at all, but plays a massive deep screw shot. Tremendous cue power, and lands perfectly on the red, which he then goes on to pot.
Shot 6 then, Jimmy White. And finally, shot 7, Brian Morgan in his first rounder against John Parrott.
This was probably the most intelligent shot out of the whole 7. Brian plays a drag shot using the knuckle of the middle pocket, with the danger being the red over the corner pocket. That's the sort of shot, he's very unlucky there to go in off. Perfectly executed shot, very unfortunate. That's the sort of shot you'd get right once out of 20.
Shot 7, Brian Morgan. So, quick recap for you. The first one, Ronnie O'Sullivan's long red pot getting position on the black. Second one, Steve Davis, the 5-cushion escape. The third one, Peter Ebdon's long red in position on the black. Shot 4, the first of Jimmy White's, superb position off the black pot. Shot 5, Tony Drago's good pink, then dislodging the red off the cushion. Shot 6, the second one by Jimmy White, the yellow, and he did pot the red afterwards. And then shot 7, Brian Morgan, in off, but a great escape from the snooker. Very good evening from the Crucible, where the first day of this year's Embassy World Championship has provided us the first day of the quarter-finals, providing us with some fascinating, high-quality snooker, and I can promise you, more coming up. The defending champion, Stephen Hendry, led Ronnie O'Sullivan 5-3. Remember, it's still first to 13 at this stage. Jimmy White produced his best form of the championship so far to take a 6-2 lead over John Parrott. Nigel Bond has a 2-frame overnight advantage over Gary Wilkinson. And Peter Ebdon and Andy Hicks, the tournament's giant killer from Devon, they were all square at 4 frames each. Well, news of Ebdon and Hicks in this programme and action from their match in our second show, that's at 11:15. But in this programme, we major on the match of the championship, Hendry versus O'Sullivan. The first 2 tonight were shared, so the champion leading 6 frames to 4. Would you believe it that so far they've been averaging just 11.5 minutes per frame? No centuries, but 11 breaks of 40 or more in the 10 frames so far. So, frame 11, the champion to break off, 6-4. Don't blink, you might miss something. And the commentators are John Spencer and Ray Edmonds.
So it's Stephen Hendry this time who plays the open positive safety shot, opens the reds up, and well, has he left a route through for Ronnie?
Possible plant as well, Ray. But this time Ronnie has left this red for Stephen. Shot to nothing. Well, that was quite some distance off. Not often we see Stephen miss them with so much. However, been rather fortunate. In fact, he's got Ronnie in quite a bit of trouble. The red coming to rest behind the green. to get out of trouble. That was a great shot. All the pressure in the world on that. And now a chance, again, of stringing a break together.
Three. Four. Nine. Ten.
The beauty for Ronnie here is if he ever finishes the wrong side of the blue for position, he always has that red near the green. Now back where he likes to be,
15.
on the black.
$16.
And now needs a good split on the reds here. Well, he's certainly got one into the left centre.
23. $24. $29. $30.
And this is the kind of pace that I think Ronnie is best at. It's not absolutely
37.
frenetic running around the table, but he's just taking that extra moment to get himself comfortable. And when he plays like this,
38.
he really is, I think, better than when he's rushing around.
Yes, and that red there's opened up the other red into the corner pocket. So what a great chance for Ronnie now.
44. $45.
And this could be an important one. A little bit further away than he
50.
would have liked.
$51.
Played beautifully.
And again, well, don't
58.
really got a kick or just to under hit it.
59.
Well, rather unfortunate for the white to stay there. 59 in front, 67 on the table.
Yes, I think it would be asking a lot for Stephen to get them all at once, but I think he might have been wiser there, Ronnie,
59.
putting
Ronnie was over.
a colour save. That isn't his nature. As it happens, he hasn't left Stephen anything too easy. Possibly he can pot the red to the middle pocket.
Well, Stephen just looking to see if the red will go past the green into the green pocket. And if he pots this, of course, he's going to open up the path for the pink into the same pocket.
One. Eight.
This the kind of challenge that Stephen Hendry relishes. When the balls
Nine.
are awkwardly situated, if he can win a frame from this position, gives you great satisfaction and puts pressure on your opponent.
Yes, and a perfect angle here to try and split these two reds. Well, that's unfortunate.
14.
Certainly take a good shot now to keep the break going.
Stephen Hendry.
Well, he can just get safe, I think, off the middle of the three reds. Well, that kiss on the yellow, what a difference that could make. Only one difficult ball now on the table, and that's this red against the back cushion.
One.
Well, he's got to take the cue ball round the table off the blue. Or up and down, which requires a lot of power. But not found wanting.
6.
Brilliant shot.
Yes, and very
7.
important now that he leaves that slight angle on the red, so that he doesn't have to force it along the back cushion. And that looks just about perfect.
14.
Well,
14.
that's the
Stephen
first one
Hendry.
down the cushion that we've seen Stephen miss, I think, today. He's potted some quite easily down there. But that's
One.
a let off for Ronnie. So it's Stephen Hendry who'll be a little bit frustrated, having got himself in a position where he could win the frame, to virtually throw it away. It'll be a boost to Ronnie. Although I think Ronnie's snookered himself on the yellow. With a 39-point lead.
8. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
And where the ball's
On the
gone,
frame.
Stephen doesn't want to know. So now just one frame in it. Ronnie O'Sullivan just trailing one frame at 6-5. So the mid-session interval coming up after this. And it would certainly set the Crucible alight if Ronnie O'Sullivan can level at 6 each. Having been 2 frames behind, that'd be a buzz.
And again, Ronnie's safety shot causing Stephen a problem. No easy path back to baulk. So is he being forced to take this red on? Well, he was forced into it, but unfortunately for Ronnie, he potted it. A great shot.
Well, certainly, if there's a player in the game that responds to a challenge,
6.
it's Stephen. I've seen it so many times.
Seven.
Yes, and on the pink here, choice of pink or black, but he's so good on the middle pockets. I'm sure it will be the pink. Probably the best middle pocket player I've ever seen.
13.
Very rare you see him miss one.
14. 19. 20. 26. 27.
Well, that looks as though Stephen has decided to go into the pack. Well, he overhit that one. He did that a bit too hard. He didn't get
33.
the bottom on the white to get into those 4 reds. Looks as though he could still pop this red into the left corner. What a good recovery shot.
34.
Still, the ball's not ideally situated. So again, we may see Stephen go into the pack. Well, that's better. Control
39.
that to perfection.
Wait, please. 40.
Ronnie sitting there, he's done nothing wrong this frame, played a good safety shot.
Yes, that's the trouble with this game, Ray. Good shots can lose matches and bad shots
45.
win matches.
$46. $52.
Well, obviously this is a bit straighter than it looks. Otherwise, Stephen would just play a little stun shot behind the black. Well, he's got there.
53.
Maybe he was worried about leaving the queuing awkward. But he's only got to drop this in. So with a 60-point lead, looks as if there's plenty
60.
to follow. It could be a big break.
Yes, and what a
61.
great response after that last frame. May just stun up here into the pink and red. Leave the other red into the right corner. Didn't need to.
68. $69. $75.
Well, the frame well
76.
and truly won. And Stephen's concentration now, of course, will be on the high break prize, which stands at 129. And
83.
a possible 134 on the table.
84.
Well, that's good thinking. Playing for the more
91.
difficult of the two reds first. Probably screw back for blue.
$92. $97.
Well, would you believe it? Not to worry.
Stephen Hendry.
A brilliant recovery from Stephen Hendry. Ronnie O'Sullivan looked as if he was taking charge, but the frame difference now 2 again, 7-5 to Stephen.
All that in just 9 minutes, remarkable pace. These two have actually met 9 times in all, 6-3 to Hendry, but 3 all in the important ranking events. It includes 2 finals. Hendry won the European Open in 93-95, and then, of course, Ronnie O'Sullivan beat him by the big score of 10-6 in the United Kingdom Championship final. Last time they met was just a little while ago in the Thailand Open, and O'Sullivan won again. So, frame 13, Ronnie O'Sullivan had the start, but he's broken down on a break of 17, and he's left Hendry with a choice of reds.
One. Seven. Eight. 13. $14.
Well, good shot from Stephen, splitting the red, but unfortunate for him, one's covered the black up.
$14.
Well,
Stephen
that's a
Hendry.
rarity to miss one into the middle pocket. We don't see it very often, and he's got good position on the red, which is important for Ronnie O'Sullivan, but I don't know whether he's got an angle to nudge the black out or whether he should even bother.
Yes, that's what he's studying there, I think, whether to play the top red and go down for the blue or to try and bring the black into play. I feel myself at this stage you should take the certainty and go for the blue, but Ronnie's trying to change his mind, and I think this is the right shot.
1. $4.
Yes, and now he's getting himself into all sorts of trouble. Maybe he would have been better playing for the black the first time.
5.
Well, that's a good shot. Good recovery shot.
$10. 11.
And certainly, I think Ronnie should concentrate on the blue, certainly for a few shots. He's now got a 19-point lead.
16. 17. 22. 23.
So one good shot with the rest here.
28.
Back for the blue. And the frame's there for the taking.
$29.
Well, not quite far enough. So 32 in front. Blue would put in 37. So needs another colour. Has to get good position on this red in the right corner to get back down for the blue.
$34.
Yeah.
$35.
Well, that's perfect. What a great shot. And that certainly seals this frame, I believe.
$40. 41.
Yes, now he'll probably attempt to move the red and black, having virtually made the frame safe.
46.
49 points in front. He's just checking, Ronnie.
46.
So,
and the frame. Ronnie
Stephen
O'Sullivan.
concedes, so that pink in the middle was costly. Ronnie O'Sullivan back just one frame behind. Stephen Hendry leads 7-6.
And it really is punch and counterpunch, Scotland versus England. Straight into the next frame, 14. Hendry's had a break of 32. Ronnie couldn't find the counter. It's Hendry back at the table.
There was applause from the crowd, but Ronnie and Stephen are pretty good friends off the table, and there was an immediate acknowledgement to Stephen that he was a little lucky there, but nevertheless, Stephen's got the problem of getting the cue ball safe, and the Reds are just slightly split up. This isn't quite so straightforward. Great shot.
Well, that's a terrible shot from Ronnie. Was playing just to go behind the red and back to the baulk cushion and giving Stephen an opportunity he shouldn't have done.
One.
Ronnie could certainly get punished for that now. Stephen already 33 points in front.
Six. Seven.
Stephen finished a little straight. And if he pulls the cue ball back, I think he's liable to run into the pink. So he might just have to play for the one to the left middle. But it looks like a deep screw shot. Well, he manufactured the angle. And, the red goes by the pink.
$15.
And there's one thing for sure, Ray, we've been treated to an excellent match here. Every mistake is being punished very heavily.
23.
Yes, we think so much of these two players that we expect them to get everything, but precious few errors. About one a frame.
30.
And the last error this young man made looks as if it's cost him this frame.
$31.
So a 70-point lead is enough.
38.
And quite a few more to come.
39. 46. 47. 54. 55. 62. 63. 69. 70. 76.
It does appear that at the moment that every time Ronnie O'Sullivan gets within a frame of Stephen,
78.
the world champion ups his game a bit. So Ronnie's going to have to up his game for 2 or 3 frames on a trot. And that's
81.
difficult against most players, but against Stephen Hendry, obviously much more difficult.
85. 90. 96.
The crowd are certainly being treated to some good snooker, and this century clearance will please them. He's back into a 2-frame lead again. 8-6 to the world champion.
First century of the match, Hendry's third of the championship. News of the progress of Peter Ebdon and Andy Hicks, and the new boys having a great night. From 4-all at this moment, he's leading 9 frames to 5. They can hear the cheers from Devon now, can't you? And so news from both quarterfinals, action from both quarterfinals after news night, and that will be about...
Hello again, welcome to our final programme of the day here at the Crucible. We're down to the last 8, of course, here in this Embassy Snooker Championship of the World. And rather in keeping with the theme of the championship so far, not all of those quarter-finals have been going exactly as the pundits might have predicted. We'll look at the draw in a moment, but let me remind you that whichever 2 players reach the final, you could be here if you're successful in our Shot of the Championship competition, which of course comes up a little bit later on. But the last 8, the quarter-final draw looks like this tonight. Stephen Hendry against Ronnie O'Sullivan, the most eagerly awaited of the 4, and it's pretty close, but the defending champion holding that 2-frame advantage at the moment. We'll be resuming coverage of that match in just a couple of minutes. Jimmy White 6-2 up in John Parrott, and Jimmy showing his best form of the championship so far. Nigel Bond against stablemate Gary Wilkinson, also pretty close, 5-3 in Bond's favour. But Peter Ebden, who of course was much fancied to come through from the bottom half of the draw, is in trouble. 9-5 down to the outsider Andy Hicks from Devon. But we're going to resume coverage of the match you may have been enjoying earlier this evening. Stephen Hendry against Ronnie O'Sullivan. Hendry 8-6 in front. We're going to join it at the start of frame 15. Hendry to play. No score yet.
Well, what's happened, Ray? I
Thank
can't
you.
believe what I'm seeing.
Quiet, please. One.
Well, I suppose they're like mere mortals. They have lapses, John. And that one, I think Stephen just got down and thought he couldn't miss it. Tried to steer the cue ball. Ronnie again has been unlucky, I think. He hit the reds beautifully. I don't think he's got any easy pot on for sure.
Well, in fact, the only possible red, I think, Ray, is the one into the yellow pocket. That's a tough one.
Yeah, he could possibly take it on, because if he takes the cue ball to the right-hand side of the table, the 2 reds to the left of the brown would be covered.
Eight. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
But has he left one down to this left corner? Well, nothing easy, certainly.
Yes, but the way the balls are situated, the first one that pots the red and gets good position on a colour would surely be in for a sizable break.
One.
Well, great shot from Stephen. And I think Ronnie's going to pay for it. Now with the black available
Seven.
into both corners.
Eight. $15. $16. $23.
Well, not quite hard enough. Wanted to be straighter on this red. So now has a bit of work to do.
$24.
Well, he's controlled that well.
31. 32.
Well, he's asked for the white to be cleaned because he did get what sounded like a heavyish contact, but luckily it didn't take the pace out of the cue ball, didn't knock the black off, the red off line, so Stephen's still okay. And that's a good shot. Did ever so well there to force that
39.
angle with lots of left-hand side.
Yes, and beauty for Steveney here is the reds so loosely packed that be it he comes from the blue or the black eventually to split them, they would spread nicely, I would feel.
.44. 45.
'Well, he's got a near perfect angle on the yellow, I think, to try and get into those reds. It's a biggish target that he's aiming at.
Yes, and that's a great shot.
47.
Had to spread nicely. And certainly now a chance for Stephen to go on and certainly clinch the frame at this visit.
48. 53.
I'm sure Stephen will want to play for the pink here to get it out of the way of those other two reds.
54. 60. 61.
'So just the one more red required now to leave Ronnie needing snookers.
67. 68. 75.
Are we going to see another century from Stephen? Can't beat the highest break.
76. 81. 82.
So now Stephen open up a 3-frame gap. He's been tremendously consistent throughout today.
85.
Sorry, John, there you see it, the breaks. 7 over 50, 1 over 100, 5 between 30 and 50.
86.
Tremendously consistent. Well, again, the crowd would like to have seen another century, but a very good 86 break. Extends the lead to 3 frames. 9-6 to Stephen.
Thank you.
So that capacity Crucible audience sees Ronnie O'Sullivan break off in frame number 8, the last frame of this session. It's frame number 16 in all. And not a very good one.
Yes, and this is Stephen's bread and butter. Doesn't miss many of these. Well, he was a long way with that, off with that one.
One.
So now can Ronnie get his act together for this last frame? We're seeing
8.
some superb snooker tonight from both players.
9. $16. 17. 24. 25. 32.
Now, I'm sure Ronnie is thinking about the black, and he shouldn't be. Although he'd got 4 reds, 4 blacks, that's definitely the shot. And he badly needs to win this frame to stay in touch. A 4-frame deficit overnight. Well, against Stephen Hendry, he doesn't very often lose from 4 frames in front. So, important for Ronnie to win this frame.
39.
So still have the 1 loose red there into this left-hand corner. You never know with Ronnie, he may take this opportunity to go into the pack.
$46.
So this is a big shot.
47.
Left the perfect angle to go into the pack. Well, not the best of breaks, but I think 1 will go into the left centre.
54.
And this, a tough shot. Well played at that pace, particularly tough.
54. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, it's a great start, but not a very sensible shot, that one, but I don't think he's done too much damage.
Well, Stephen looks like he's taking this red on. will be screwing back, I would think, to make it a shot to nothing. The only red he can leave is the one he's taking. Well, these pockets just don't take them at that speed up the cushion. You have to be so accurate.
Well, big cries from the crowd and cheers, but again, Ronnie acknowledged that it was a fluke. Once kept this tight up behind the green, and well, you would say with a 55-point lead, the way the Reds are situated, Stephen Hendry needs an awfully good shot and a lot of luck not to leave one this time. It wasn't luck, it was pure skill. Absolutely brilliant escape.
Yes, and at this stage, Ronnie should be thinking of getting one of these reds tight against the side cushion for safety with having a 55-point lead. That's the right shot. Shouldn't have hit the brown, however. That white should have been near the ball cushion.
One.
Well, this is a far from easy possible clearance, but if Stephen Hendry should do that, what a hammer blow to Ronnie.
Yes, and I think if you had to pick anyone to do that, it would be Stephen Hendry. There's only the one really difficult red, and that's the one toward the right cushion.
Ten.
Well, he hesitated there. He didn't like
Hendry.
it. He didn't have the right angle to drop on the black, and I think he's tried to steer the white again. So easy to do that.
One.
So Ronnie with a straight pink. Under normal circumstances, you could have your house on this one going in, but there's a bit of pressure out there. The importance of this final frame of this session.
Yes, and the way he's playing it, that top red of those two will obviously pot into the right corner.
One.
Well, you
One
could
will
hear the
solve.
gasps from Ronnie. Very disappointed with that. Stephen immediately trying to bring that red away from the cushion into play when playing safe. Good pop from Ronnie. I'm sure he thought he was missing the cannon on the red, but now a great chance. 47 in front, just the green and one more red.
Four.
And again, not the best of positions. Has the red into the corner, but it's a rest job and the blue will be hampering him.
Oh, that was a great shot. He knew it was important. So to finish just 2 frames behind, Stephen's played pretty well tonight. Ronnie will be,
12.
well, reasonably satisfied. And one just has the feeling that
13.
this young man has got a session in him whereby he could win 4 or 5 frames on the trot before his opponent can blink an eyelid. But his
90.
opponent, Stephen Hendry, and that's not going to be easy, but certainly winning this frame has given Ronnie every hope for tomorrow. Stephen
90.
takes
And the
up
pin,
his
one
extension,
more.
handshake, they're good friends. And Stephen finishes the second session as it started, 2 frames in front at 9-7.
Yes, an important final frame there for Ronnie O'Sullivan, and at 9-7 in Stephen Hendry's favour, we're set for an enthralling final session tomorrow. Now, the match between Peter Ebdon and Andy Hicks coming up in a few minutes, but before then, let's give you the chance of winning yourself a trip here to the Crucible this final weekend in the Shot of the Championship competition. It's introduced by David Vine. The shots are described by Peter Ebdon.
Well, the first one is played by Ronnie O'Sullivan in his second-round match against Darren Morgan.
This is a tremendous test of cueing here from Ronnie. Not only does he pot the long red, with the danger of the red being over the corner pocket, but gets such good position on the black that he's actually played it like a shot to nothing.
Shot 1, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Shot 2 by Steve Davis when he was trailing Andy Hicks 4-3.
Steve's potted a red. He's in a tremendous amount of trouble. Decides not to play after 2 cushions, just to play the black, because it would leave his opponent an easy safety shot, but goes off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cushions. Perfectly executed escape from snooker.
Shot 2, Steve Davis. Well, shot 3 was by Peter himself in his match against Mark Davis.
Wasn't faced with that difficult a safety shot here, but I knew that if I potted the red, it was a match winner for me. So I took it on full-blooded, didn't hit it too hard, and it worked out just about perfect.
Shot 3, Peter Ebdon. Shot 4, played by Jimmy White in his match against Peter Francisco.
Jimmy uses a tremendous amount of cue power here. Loads and loads of topspin. Smashes the black into the pocket, bananas the cue ball, and look at this for position. One of the best positional shots I've ever seen, and that was played for.
Shot 4, Jimmy White. Shot 5, one from Tony Drago in his second-round match against Stephen Hendry.
Tony's under a lot of pressure here. He's 12-5 down. Needs to do something special. Hard stuns the pink into the centre with a touch of left-hand side to bring the red perfectly over the left-hand black pocket.
Shot 5, Tony Drago. Shot 6, another one from Jimmy White, again against Peter Francisco.
Well, when the balls are so close to the pockets, sometimes it's difficult to control the cue ball and gain position. So Jimmy decides not to use the cushions at all, but plays a massive deep screw shot. Tremendous cue power, and lands perfectly on the red, which he then goes on to pot.
Shot 6 then, Jimmy White. And finally, shot 7, Brian Morgan in his first rounder against John Parrott.
This was probably the most intelligent shot out of the whole 7. Brian plays a drag shot using the knuckle of the middle pocket, with the danger being the red over the corner pocket. That's the sort of shot, he was very unlucky there to go in off. Perfectly executed shot, very unfortunate. That's the sort of shot you'd get right once out of 20.
Shot 7, Brian Morgan. So, quick recap for you. The first one, Ronnie O'Sullivan's long red pot getting position on the black. Second one, Steve Davis, the 5-cushion escape. The third one, Peter Edmonds' long red in position on the black. Shot 4, the first of Jimmy White's, superb position off the black pot. Shot 5, Tony Drago's good pink, then dislodging the red off the cushion. Shot 6, the second one by Jimmy White, the yellow, and he did pot the red afterwards. And then shot 7, Brian Morgan, in off, but a great escape from the snooker.
So the shot of the championship, what you have to do to enter is to pick your top 3 from the shots you've seen, and then call us on that number, 0891 1144 77. That's 0891 1144 77. The calls, as you can see, are just 39 pence a minute cheap rate, 49 pence a minute at other times. And if you would like to send in a postcard rather than call, then there's how you do it. Your shot selection on the left, and then your name, your address, and a daytime telephone number as well, please. Shot selection together with your name, address, and a daytime telephone number. And the address, Shot of the Championship, PO Box 29, Sheffield, S1 1UP. That's postcards, or the back of a sealed-in envelope will do as well. Shot of the Championship, PO Box 29, Sheffield, S1 1UP. And the winner will win for him or herself a VIP trip to the final next weekend, with the 3 runners-up winning big break waistcoats. Now, Peter Ebden in fine voice in the competition, but up against it, against the Crucible debutant Andy Hicks in his quarter-final. When we last saw it, of course, Andy Hicks was leading by 9 frames to 5. He then took the 15th to go 10-5 in front.
The champion, so solid, so steady, so
73.
accurate.
$77. $82.
The pink and the black would be a clearance of 95. He won't bother with the black.
And frame. Stephen Hendry.
He's won the frame, which is all he wanted to do. He's back 2 frames ahead at 10 frames to 8.
And the defending champion then went on to take the next frame with a break of 84. So he now leads by 11 frames to 8 and is just 2 away from victory. Here's frame 20.
One, Stephen Hendry.
This is the big frame for Ronnie O'Sullivan. He'll have to put everything into this one. Really needs to get this to give himself a chance in this match.
Oh, that's not worked out.
One. Eight. 9.
It looks as though he has one to the left center.
16.
Looking this one into the right center.
Just a little bit short on the black. Stevens only made 1 century break in this match, but he's had 9 breaks over 60. So consistent. In the UK Championships, Stephen Hendry probably played the finest
24.
match that's ever been played. He made 7 century breaks in 10 frames. He made 5 centuries
25.
in 7 of those frames. I don't think it'll ever be equaled in the history of the game.
Thirty-two. 33.
And what can one feel for that young man, just 19 years of
29.
age, being forced to remain in that chair?
40.
His chair, of course, the loneliest seat in the Crucible Theatre at Sheffield.
Forty-seven. 48.
That last positional shot, it was like putting the cue ball on a sixpence. This is just pure genius.
54. 55. 61. 62.
And once again, the frame is beyond the reach of his
69.
younger opponent.
$70.
Absolutely devastating stuff, this. 84 in the last frame, 88 in the previous frame. What is this going to be?
$77. $78. $84.
What about a double to keep it going?
55.
The highest break at present is still a break of 129 held by John Parrott. It could go here.
Yes, there's a
91.
possible 133 here. The highest break of the
98.
championship claims £16,000.
99.
The next shot, the important one.
$108.
He can get to the brown.
$111. $150.
So the Embassy Championship sees another century, but this time it could be the biggest of the lot so far. Two more
120.
colours for 133.
$126.
Fabulous performance. Stephen Hendry, a wonderful break, leading 12 frames to 8 and wanting just one more for a place in the semi-final.
That's a majestic performance there by the world champion. In fact, that frame lasted just 10 minutes, and the average for all 20 frames so far is only 11.5 minutes. That's real quick fire snooker. And of course, the 133 break is the highest of the championship so far. Stephen Hendry now in line to collect the highest break prize of £16,000. Those are the high breaks so far. John Parrott's 129 has just been overtaken. Stephen himself, of course, with the 128. That was against Stefan Masrosas in the first round, which seems a very long time ago. And a little statistical curiosity about the World Championship high breaks. We've had two 147s, of course, as I'm sure you remember. Cliff Thorburn back in 1983 and Jimmy White 3 years ago. We've never, ever had a 146 in the World Championship. A couple of 145s, Doug Mountjoy back in 81. And this January in the qualifying event, Nottingham's Anthony Hamilton picked up £5,000 for a 145. But we've never, ever had a 146. Maybe it'll happen in the matches which have still to come. So now Ronnie O'Sullivan really is in trouble. We're going into frame 21 of the match, and of course Ronnie has to win all 5 remaining frames if he's to take a semi-final place. Let's join it with Stephen Hendry having started well. He's 34-0 ahead. It's Ronnie to play.
1.
Trusting a
7.
bit to luck there.
So all is not lost yet, but just look at the position of the Reds.
14.
Not easy. That was
15.
unlucky. He played the cannon onto the other red just to bring it into play. He would have finished nicely on the blue. Surely the brown's not going to go in as well. Well, that is incredible.
12. 15, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
You could
4,
put that into your
Stephen
trick
Hendry.
shot book, Dennis.
Tell you what, you'd never see that happen again.
Is it going to reach?
Foul. And a miss. 4, Stephen Hendry.
And Stephen thinking about taking the red on into the middle pocket.
One.
He really is amazing with those centre pockets.
.34 points in front now.
7.
A little thin one might get behind the green.
Seven, Stephen Hendry.
Take this one on.
One.
This could be the chance that Stephen Hendry's been waiting for. But he's messed his position up. So Ronnie's still going to get a chance.
So 42
Eight.
points the difference.
Stephen Hendry.
A possible 59 points still on the table.
One.
And he might have an angle here to pot the pink. Well, he's just taking it ball at a time, creeping ball by ball
7.
to the semi-final.
7, Stephen Hendry.
Yes, he just wants one red now to make this frame safe. How will he go at this one?
Foul.
Oh dear.
4, Stephen Hendry.
So, following the foul shot, Stephen asks Ronnie to play the shot again.
Interesting little point there, Ted. He didn't call a miss, the referee, because Ronnie needed a snooker. And the blue looks as if it's covered the middle pocket. So he'll just play the snooker behind the green and brown.
I don't think it's hard enough. One gets the feeling that Ronnie O'Sullivan will be pleased to see the back of this frame, and indeed, the Crucible Theatre. He knows he has to go back to the drawing board.
Got very little to improve on, though, Ted. It's just a matter of time before this young man becomes world champion.
That I'd agree with, Dennis. He's come up against the world champion in devastating form here in this final session.
Yes, Ted, I think you're right. Ronnie O'Sullivan's had enough of this year's Embassy World Championship.
One.
Stephen equaling the record set up by Steve Davis 5 years ago. 18 consecutive matches, all won in the World Championship at the Crucible Theatre.
9.
His target now is to win the semi-final and then retain this title, the Embassy World Championship, for the 4th year in succession, for yet another record.
13. (16), 18,
Going out in a blaze of glory, in doing what he knows he does best, potting balls.
55,
And so we must offer
Okay.
commiserations to the 19-year-old Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's come up against a world champion in the top form as Stephen Hendry puts himself into our semi-finals with victory at 13 frames to 8.
When I'm here, the longer I stay in the tournament, the better I get usually. So, you know, as I say, if I've won the match, I'm very happy, but there's still a long way to go. You know, that one match hasn't won me the championship.
I never scored heavy enough in the whole match. I think if you have a look at the breaks, I think it speaks for itself. He had, you know, loads more 50s and 60s than I had.
The more I'm pushed, the better I play. You know, every time Ronnie came close, came within one frame with me. You know, I managed to find a little bit extra and make a big break in the next frame.
I'm always confident. You know, I believe I play well. I've got every chance of winning. You know, and I didn't play bad. I just missed a few, you know, important shots.
He's got more talent in his little finger than 99% of players in this game have got in their whole body, so, you know, he'll win it one day, there's no doubt about that.
I'm going to try and forget this as quickly as possible and get on with the next things in hand. Press that and punting's professional. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Ronnie O'Sullivan still able to raise a smile, but it's Stephen Hendry, hugely impressive, and the first man through to the semi-finals of this year's World Championship. There's the up-to-date situation. Jimmy White about to resume against John Parrott, 6-2 in front. Nigel Bond and Gary Wilkinson drew their session 4 each this morning. It's now 9-7 to Nigel Bond. And Peter Ebdon and Andy Hicks to play to a finish this afternoon. Hicks 11-5 in front. And in fact, it's that White-Parrott match which we'll to see next. David Vine here and John.